Hello everybody and welcome back to Voxel Tycoon. As always, I am Dor, and today we're going to go ahead and run the copper line, the sand line, and try and double up on the stone line that is bringing in the raw stone for us. But before we actually go ahead and do any of that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the research here. So we need raw copper for the copper smelting, which we already know. We need some gravel for the concrete production, which we already have. We can go ahead and do that. We can't do the diesel one because we don't have the cabling researched or a way of making that just yet. We can do the manufacturing tier 3 because that's the steel and we have steel being produced. Same thing with rails. We can't do that one. Researching, we need circuits, I think that was, right? Yeah. We can't do that yet. We can do the steel fabrication and we can do the woodworking, but we need to go ahead and have those two items close by because the planks are over here on the left and the glass is over here on the right, but the glass isn't being made yet because we don't have sand coming in yet. But what we can go ahead and do is plop down a research station, right? Or a laboratory. It's not a research station. That's going to give us the ability to research the steel stuff. And I think the rails was one of them. Manufacturing is one of them. Let's do the manufacturing for that's $2 million. Oof. $2 million that's pricey. Let's do it anyways. Why not? That's going to give us the manufacturing tier 3 stuff. So let's go ahead and set that in motion. And as that's processing through, we can go ahead and do this stuff over here. So what we need to go ahead and do here is advanced wood frame. I don't care, but that's not something we're making. We need to actually drag this thing back a little bit, right? And let's see if we go from the entrance of this thing and go back until it says 821, which is right there. That's 826. So from here out, we're going to go 2 out, right? And then we're going to go down, and that should allow us to go by that. It is. Okay, cool. So we need to actually level out this area just a smidge here, and we should be able to run the rail down that little corridor now. Cool. That's going to allow us to go ahead and bypass the copper area here because we don't need all of our trains going through here, right? We just need our copper train going through here. So I'm going to go ahead and plop a waypoint down over here, and we're going to add that waypoint into the lines for the other guys here. So let's do that there so that we know it's going through there. And then this guy, let's see. We're going to actually pause it for a second, and we're going to remove this little strip of tracking and then level out the area so that the train is going straight because it raises up a little bit and then goes for a second, drops back down, and then levels back out. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and clear out this bit of tracking. Does it take the signal? It did take the signal. Okay, so let's go ahead and level you out just a smidge. Let's go from there to there, and then from you back should be enough, and then we can go like that, kind of clear out that little corner, kind of make it a little smoother, I guess. And then we can go ahead and reconnect in like that. And then if we replace the signal here, it should put it right back where it was, which it kind of looks like it's right in the same spot right here by the tree. So that should work, right? And I guess the game got an update in between episodes here because now there's a bunch of highlights now. It's showing us where the blockchains and stuff are. So that's good. That's going to help out a lot here. So we can go ahead and connect the track back into this guy here. We don't really need it to do anything too crazy. So we'll have it go out to there and then turn. And if we can connect back into the track here. So there we go. And then we need to go ahead and re-signal because now the signals are all going to be off and it's not going to let me put a signal there. Okay, so let's put one here, put one there, and that way that's opened and we should be good. We also need one over here at the start of the junction here. So then we need another one there and another one facing the right way, please. Right there. That should be fine. And we can go ahead and actually use the rail to go ahead and measure this out because it's not letting me do the multi-track or multi-placing thing because there's a waypoint right in front of it. So right there is 821 feet. So by the yellow crane, let's grab another signal and it should be right here-ish. So that's 821 feet, and we could probably squeeze another one in right here. But let's go ahead and just leave that alone for right now because it's probably going to be less than 800 feet to put another waypoint down. So we'll just leave that be. And we can go ahead and unpause, right? And if we click on our trains now, actually, I can do it from this screen, I believe, because we only have a couple trains out. I think our iron line and our coal line are both doubled up right now. Our coal line's doubled up. Our iron line is tripled up, but it's not, they're not running the full 821 foot train track length thingy. So before we actually start running those tracks, I'm going to go ahead and level this stuff out too, just to go ahead and make the tracks a little nicer, because that's kind of irritating my eyes just seeing that. Let's go ahead and get rid of this and this, reconnect the tracks, and then go back to the very beginning and run the signals again so everything's spaced out correctly. But I am having something weird happen here. I think it might be because of the signaling right now. One train will go down this path. I have all of the trains that come this way other than the copper train because we don't have it set out right now. But the ones that I do have, they are set to go through this waypoint, but they're not. There's the log trains doing it, and one of the iron trains is doing it. The other one is still going through the depot here, so I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm hoping that redoing the signals over here on the end line is going to go ahead and fix that. Where is the beginning of this line at? Man, this track is all wibbly and wobbly. I don't like that. Over here. Okay, cool. So with our signals turned on to multi-mode again, we should be able to go ahead and just hover over this guy, and it's going to replace all the signals that might be out of place. So we have a block, keeps going all the way back over here. And did that fix this area? It kind of did, but now the signal's back here, and I think that should be fine. I'm not too worried about that. We'll leave it be, and this guy should be fine, right? Yeah, it's going to place it here and there again. If we place the signal on the other side of the sign though, it does let us auto place. So let's do that, and we squeeze like 3 signals in on this little corner. So let's delete this guy, and that should be good. And now if we do one here, is it gonna leave it there or is it gonna put it further? It's not going to move either of these. Okay, so let's redo this one as well. I need to turn the multi-signal back on. That's why it's not working. It does remove the signal that's right on the edge there. So let's go ahead and do that. And then if we go from this one, it's going to place one here, and then if we replace this guy on the end there, it's going to replace all these signals, so that's going to scooch everything over, and it looks like it doubled up on this one for some odd reason. Get rid of that, please. Let me just go ahead and double check back over here by placing another one down. It should go ahead and reshuffle them if it needs to. Okay, so it's actually placing one right before the tunnel, because I guess you can't place them in the tunnel, so it's kind of just doubling up right there for some reason. But if we go ahead and place another one here, it's going to delete that one by the thing, which I kind of don't want to have happen. So I'm actually going to leave those signals alone. I'll turn this one back to a normal signal so we don't have to place a bunch of these down, and that should be fine. Let's go ahead and place one there so it closes that block, and I think we should be fine everywhere else. Should be good to go. Everything's checked. These colors are coming in handy. So just for the sake of having these things here, I'm going to go ahead and place these back. It might not really matter. It might cause a little bit of a hiccup here, but at least that way we have those things down. Okay, so I actually scooted the track back just a little bit so we can have it kind of ending right there to kind of make the signaling make a little more sense, hopefully. But anyways, let's go ahead and get the copper line up and running here. We might also go ahead and connect some more towns into the entire thing here as well today. Actually, you know what? Nobody wants any raw copper, so what we're going to go ahead and do is plop a laboratory down out here really quick, right? This is going to get deleted in a minute, but what we can go ahead and do is trigger the copper smelting quest, or research, and that's going to give us copper bars, and hopefully one of these towns wants copper bars here once this thing is done. But let's go ahead and just leave that, and it's going to process through. But what we can go ahead and do instead of that is go ahead and run the line for the sand, and I thought I put down warehouses and stuff last episode for this place, but I guess I didn't. So let's go ahead and pause it once more today. I think that's probably the last time we're going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and delete the sand thing. We are going to go ahead and place down a couple more. We're going to do the 4 that we've been doing, and then we can go ahead and plop down some warehouses, but we need to go ahead and unpause the game because we're not going to have enough money. Yeah, it's 147,000. We have 154, so we have enough for one warehouse right now. I'm going to actually take out the loan because we can take out 2.1 mil right now, so let's go ahead and do that. And then let's see, we're also going to have to flatten out the area just a smidge because we're going to go with the 821 foot freight station here. So if we go ahead and squeeze it as far back into the corner as we can right now, so that should work. Actually, it's not connected into those guys. Let's do there. And are we level? I think we're level, so let's go ahead and scooch it just a smidge, and that should work. And yeah, we went down into the ground a little bit, but we'll go ahead and fix that in a second. No big deal. Then we can go ahead and plop the warehouses down here. So this guy is in range of those guys. I want him to connect to all 4, please. There we go. So we'll do that and that. And then we're going to have to run the tracking down and around to the bridge, but we don't have any wiggle room here unless we want to go through the neighborhoods. There's no level crossing, so we're going to have to either delete the buildings and roads to come this way with it, or tunnel it, I guess, or maybe even... if we can make that turn sharp enough, we might just loop back around and come out together on this side. Let's give that a whirl. That might not be the greatest looking thing, but that might be what we have to do here. So let's see if we can make that turn. We can indeed. Okay, cool. How cool would it be if we were able to make curved stations, right? Have a track coming in from here, connect into the station, and then loop back around and go out. That would be fancy. Anyways, let's go ahead and do this, right? We can make the loop. So let's go ahead and try and make it as tight as we can, which I guess is going to be that. Is that level as well? It is level. Okay, cool. So let's do that. And then that should be good. And I want to keep it as level as I can. And then let's see, where do we want to go from here? So if we come out to the mountain, we're going to have to put down some sand or whatever here to go ahead and level out the ground. And then if we just cut it straight into the mountain, we should be able to, unless we can't branch out of the tunnel, let's see if we can even do that before I even start trying to plan that. No, it doesn't look like we can. So we would have to come out from before the tunnel entrance, which should be, I guess we'll go from this signal just so we can have a block in front of it. And we're going to want to be level, which is going to be this layer of dirt. So I guess what we'll end up doing is something like this, right? That gets us up onto that level that we need to be on. And then, oh, I was kind of hoping we could skirt past that. Let's actually do this then so we can cut out the ground and just keep it going across there. There we go. And then we'll just have it go over to there and then hopefully back. And we will just go past the neighborhood here so we don't have to delete those guys. And something like that should probably... let's go here. 402 feet. And then we should be able to cut across. And if we go ahead and just bridge it so that it levels out the ground here and go back down, please. So you're level. Cool. Oh, you know what? We didn't need to be on this level. We needed to be one down. Oops. Anyways, we're going to keep going here. We got another little bit of trackage to go. If you could just not start off by going into the sky, that'd be fantastic. And then let's see, where do we want this track to end up at? We want it to be the inbound lane, right? Because our trains are going to be coming from here and they're going to be taking the turn off, and it's going to be going into the inbound thing, which is going to be loading the train. So I guess we'll make the loop around the inbound lane. So we'll go ahead and have this thing cut across and hopefully connect in. It connected in. Cool beans. So the inbound is done, and now we just need to figure out where we want the outbound to go, because we can't connect to it in here because that's the tunnel. It won't let us connect to the tunnel. So we either needed to connect here before the signals or connect before the depot, because I want the depot to be in the middle so that a train can always get to it. So we'll try that, right? It looks like we might be able to go ahead and bring it back down this way and cut through the mountain here and then reconnect it somewhere over here by the signaling, in between these two signals at least. So we wanted it to go through this little chunk maybe. Let's go ahead and give that a whirl. We might even just cut through right here. There's no biggie. We'll go there and then we'll see. Can we tunnel through here? Because, oh, it's going to make us go in a straight line. Can't go at an angle. Oh, no. No. I don't want to do that. Can I go this way and tunnel? I can tunnel, but it's not going to give us a tunnel. It's going to cut out the entire ground there. Okay, that's not the end of the world. So you know what? We'll just go ahead and do this. We'll go a little bit at a time. It's going to be taking out the mountain, but that's like the best option we have available right now. So we'll just do that, and that's going to keep it level. So it looks like we can go out 2. That's 3. 3 of them is still level, so 4 of them put us back up into the top there. We're going to chew through so much of our money. We already did. We have 400 grand left. So we don't have enough to finish off that track. That's not good. I need to go ahead and let time progress here. We're not really making a whole lot of cash, and we just burnt through all of our loans. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward time here, build up some cash, and go ahead and finish off this track. It looks like it will connect into probably about right here-ish. Okay, so the track is complete. So we're going to go ahead and throw one train on each line here. So we need sand and we need copper, right? So we'll do the copper one first. So these guys are going to be the copper. That's the biggest container we have, right? 23. Yeah, that's the biggest thing we have. So we're going to go ahead and throw, I believe, 8 cars on here until the mile per hour thing changes to the little hazard sign. Okay, so it was indeed 8 of these carts. So that's going to be that. We're going to be running 1 DV12. So we can go ahead and set that. So we can go ahead and set that line, right? And we'll go ahead and have it going through the 4th track here. I think that's the one that's open right now, so we'll set it on Stony Brook 14 waypoint. So it's going to go through there. It's going to stop here to go ahead and unload, and then it's going to loop all the way back around up until the next little depot, which is going to just be the copper one here. It's going to load, unload, and then loop around. So that's all it's going to be doing. I'm not too worried about it doing anything else, so we can go ahead and set that and release it. And if we go back over there, we should hopefully have it going down the correct path. I guess the first time through, it's not really going to matter. So we can go ahead and set the other train out now too. So we're going to have the same thing, DV12. And then the biggest carrying thing for the sand is this guy for 20. So I'm not too sure how many of these we can actually fit on here, but we'll go until the speedometer thing changes to be slowed down by the weight. Okay, so we can actually fit 9 of them. That's what we were just at, and if we add a 10th one in, we actually run into the speed problem. So we can delete that. We'll have 9 of them and the DV12, so we have enough for that. We do indeed, and then we'll set the line for this guy as well. So it is going to go from the copper line as well for right now. We'll probably end up moving this later, but for right now, so we don't have to lay more tracks, we can just go ahead and leave it on this line as well. And so it's going to go, and then it's going to go ahead and unload here and loop all the way around, not hitting any checkpoints until it goes back this way and loads up here. And then it's going to go back, and it should go back through the checkpoint. And that should be that. Okay, so we should be good. And do we have any copper in our thing yet? No, because that train kind of just went out of the thing. Is it even passed through here yet? I think it did already. So here comes the sand one, right? And as that's going to go ahead and do its thing, I need to go ahead and try to figure this out. So one thing I changed in between episodes is I dragged a track from the waypoint back for 821 feet, and then I have a signal here. That way the trains would actually backlog on the little waiting area here instead of on the main line, because if one's waiting here, then it just backs up the line. So I made a little staging area to have one extra train in here, hopefully easing up the entrance to this thing. But anyways, as that stuff's going, I'm gonna see if we can merge this stuff into this line here. So if we make this the very end of this line, so that's gonna be 821 feet from the depot signal, which is this guy, till this signal here, so that way we could backlog on the outside as well. And then can we merge all of these into this lane here? I don't think we can. It's too tight of a turn, I think, is what's gonna happen here. Yeah, it's not going to let us do that. What if we go ahead and do this, right? This is going to go ahead and turn, and then hopefully we can connect the other tracks into this one. There we go. It's not the prettiest looking thing, but it get connected in, and I'm hoping that works because it kind of seems like the tracks might be a little wonky on that little section here. So I'm hoping that doesn't have any effect, but that's that connected in. So now the entire 8-line depot connects into that main line that circles the entire map, or not the entire map, but back up to the copper area. So the reason I left the sand on the same copper line was because we didn't have that connected in, and I didn't want to waste a bunch of money trying to connect it, but it wasn't too expensive. And we also only have one train on the sand and copper line right now, so that track on the depot is not exactly going to be the most trafficked area on the depot here. Okay, and with that connected in, right, we're going to go ahead and replace the 2 freight stations over here, right? So we have the bigger 800-foot ones. And let's see, if we go ahead and place down the station back where it came from, if I can click on the right button, there we go. That's going to connect in nicely right where it was, so we're not really moving that one too far. And then let's see, this one needs to go here. And actually, before we place that down, let's go ahead and take out a bunch of money again and replace all of these with the quarries and stuff, so we can have 4 of them feeding our line like we have the other ones. And then this way we're able to have one train running the stones, one train running the the wood beams and then anything else that's in our depot that we can drag back up to this town. So that way we have one dedicated stone and then the rest is dedicated to the material that this place needs. So that's the idea here. We need this thing in line with that station. So I'm actually going to run a track just so it's connected in and I don't have to kind of guess where I'm placing it. Okay, so it looks like we can't actually leave it lined up. If we do, it's not connected into the other two stone quarries, which I don't think really matters, right? Because we're pulling from the garages. But just for the sake of it, we're going to move it over to the side here and then we're going to back it up until about there-ish so that we can pull the track over and then make a U-turn on the other end here, hopefully. So that should work. So if we keep in mind that we want 2 trains on here, we have to have a bypass here, and then we'll leave it there for right now. So if we have the back of this one be the entrance, and then this be the exit, and this one be the exit, we can go ahead and have this thing cross over like that, I think. Might be okay. And then this guy can go across here, like so, and it should be fine. And then we just drag this guy up there. This is going to have to cross over, and hopefully we can connect into this, but it doesn't look like we can. There we go. And then this should connect into this track here if we can. There we go. So we have our inbound lane going to this place, making a UE coming out. That's the outbound lane. This is the inbound lane going to the top of this place. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's connected in. We're going to have to be cautious with the signaling here just so we don't have any crashes. And then this guy can come back, and can we get you level? There we go. Cool. Yeah, I did set it up backwards. So this is actually going to be the outbound lane here. These guys that we place down as the inbounds, those are going to be the outbounds, and the inbound lanes are going to be the outbound lanes because the back of the depot over here is going to be the exit, because that's already set in stone. I'm not going to tear out the entire factory and rerun it. So we'll have this thing kind of branch out from this signal here back that way if we can. I kind of want it a little tighter, but I guess we can't. So we'll go this way, and then we will turn and go down the corner here. And I have a feeling we're going to have to tear this track out because when we eventually place down whatever furnaces and stuff on this side of the depot, this is going to cut into a little bit of the space, but we can't actually go anywhere right now because of this place. It's kind of forcing us to go down this path, so not a big deal, but we'll have to we'll eventually have to end up removing that area there. But if we can connect this guy into that, that's going to be so much money if we flatten the area out, so I don't want to do that right now. There we go. That's going to connect into that. We can go ahead and remove a little bit of this track. We are also going to have to remove a bunch of signals. I think I placed down a bunch of two-ways already. Yeah, let me remove all the two-way signals here. And then with a quick little press of the button here with the signals here, we can go ahead and have the entire track signaled up in 2 seconds here. So I went ahead and rearranged the track out here. We had it ending over here because I didn't rearrange it yet. Went ahead and dragged it out. And now we have it here. I'm going to go ahead and change that back to that. This one, actually, I kind of don't like that it's doing that. Let's remove this one. Let's get rid of you. That way we just have a signal going into the depot. And we should be good with that. And then the exit over here, I went ahead and had it go off of the signal. I think I showed that. And we'll go ahead and space it 800 feet from this thing here. So that should do the entirety of the track going back into the first depot, right? We don't have a break off of it? No. So yeah, it goes to this point here. And then we can go ahead and not put a signal here because I don't want a train covering the other track here, so we'll leave that alone. We will place one here. It's going to place one up there, and then we can place one there. Then we can turn the multi-place again on. That's going to open up that, placing signals across, and let's place one here. Place one. You know what? These little stretches aren't 800 feet long, so it's going to be a little janky. But I guess we'll just cross our fingers and hope we don't have any crashes. That's kind of my main concern right now because these trains are like $1 million a piece, and having one of them crash and lose out instantly is going to be really bad for us. But that should work. Right now, all I need to do is reset this guy's route and stuff like that. We're going to leave him alone for right now to be running the stuff that it's currently running. We're not going to change the train around. We don't have money, and we just burned through the loan again. Even if we did take the money out, we don't have enough to purchase a full-on train. So we'll leave that be. We need this guy, I believe. So there we go. We went ahead and changed the route around for this guy. He should be good. We're going to have him going into the final track here on the side. And I guess we'll follow it along here. Let me turn down the speed here. And we should be good all the way there. We don't have any other trains on the line in that direction, so we're not worried right now about anything crashing. And as we get the money to do so, we're going to turn this train into a full stone line and then run another one down this line that's going to be bringing the wood beams back up here and maybe these other things, the coal and the iron. We're not going to do the stone. We'll just have the stone train come through here on the way out. Actually, we can't do that anymore. You know what? We actually kind of can, because this is going to be going in, loading up, and then coming down this line. And if we have a little bit of a junction here, we will be able to go ahead and do that. So we'll plop that there and then plop another signal down to go ahead and hopefully keep things happy. There we go. Cool. So yeah, we'll have the stone train come back, drop off the stone that it needs to be in this town, and then the logs, and if these other town or the other business things don't go under while we are waiting for the money to generate, we'll go ahead and have those come back up from the depot over here. But for right now, we'll leave that there. Oh, another thing before we wrap up, did anybody catch last episode the completely useless track that I laid down trying to get the log train and stuff to loop around? It was all going into this line here, but this line doesn't go into the log train. It goes into the exit log train, so they weren't actually doing anything. They were just going around in a loop doing nothing. So that was great. Okay, so before we actually wrap up today, let's go ahead and set a dedicated stone train, right? We are going to go ahead and use these guys. These are the biggest stone carrying things that we have available to us. And I believe we can go ahead and squeeze 10 of these carts onto this train before we run into any speed problems. It is indeed. Okay, so that's 10 carts with 15 capacity. We're going to run the DV12 again, and that gives us a capacity of 150 inventory space. So what this guy is going to be doing is just going and grabbing stone. So it's going to be coming down. It's going to have to go through this thing. Actually, yeah, we don't need to add a junction here because it can go through the depot and then transfer back over at the end there. So we'll have it pick up from Point Pleasant. We're going to have you load. We're going to have you unload a little bit here. We're not going to have you unload the entire train though. We'll have you unload what we will do, we'll do 2 cars, right? I think we'll do 3 cars just to be safe. We'll do 3 of them here, and then it's going to go ahead and swing by over here, and we are going to go ahead and have it go through the final checkpoint like we are right now with the other one, just to ensure that it's going to the right station. And then we're going to have you unload the entirety of whatever is left in it, and that should be fine. We can go ahead and set that in motion, and if we take a look here, it should be coming around and going toward the correct place. And this is going to be a test, I guess, because whether or not these 2 trains are going to be crashing into one another. So it caught up to the other one instantly. We're going to send this one back to the depot here. I don't think we have enough money to refit it to just take the logs and stuff with it, but we will go ahead and do that. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to let this run just to see if these 2 somehow come in contact with one another, because they should be both the same length right now, 400 and something feet, I think. So let's see. Does this guy block that thing? No, but he does block that thing, which it should open because it's going to pass through that and stop here, and it does. So then it should continue on to this signal, which is fine as well because it's going to stop anyways. But yeah, we're good. Okay, so once this guy goes through, we are going to go ahead and let this train get back to the depot, and then we're going to let this thing get back to the freight station over here, deliver whatever stone it has left, and then send it back to the depot real quick, just so we can go ahead and refit it if we have the money to do so. So now that it's in here, we went ahead and removed all of our stone that it was carrying. We're going to switch this over to be bringing coal and iron right now, I believe is what it needs. So we'll do 2 for coal and we'll do 2 for iron. And right now that's well within the speed limit weight, because we need like 10 carts or something to be like another 100 feet onto this train before it actually starts running into any weight issues. So we'll leave that right now because I don't think this place wants anything else, right? It doesn't even want coal anymore, which is a bit of an issue. How many more days do we have left on this? We have 37 days. We should be able to go ahead and meet that demand. So I already changed the route, so we should be good. So we're going to have wood beams, iron, and coal coming back, even though we don't have demand for coal anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But let's go ahead and place down some warehouses to go ahead and at least build a backlog so that when this town does get it together again and we can go ahead and deliver coal to it, we can go ahead and do that. Let me actually change out this place if we're able to, because I want the bigger radius. Let me just get rid of that place. Go ahead and plop down the tier 2. You know what? The radius from the train depot is pretty big. So if we place it there, we're hitting it from the train depot. So we only need 1 down right now. No, we need 2 down right now. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's going to give us iron and it's going to give us coal, so we have a backlog here, and then we need a station down over here. So what we'll actually end up doing is placing a tier 2 one down right here. This hits all 3 of our delivery places right now that we currently have available in this town. So what we'll do is that we will remove this guy and this guy. So we only have 1 delivery point in this town, and then all we need to do is set up a iron truck really quick, and that's pretty simple. We just need 1 truck. We're not going to go overkill with it. We need you getting the iron, and then all you're doing is grabbing and dropping off, which is pretty quick and simple. So you go there and unload, and you're golden. Congratulations. So in a minute here, we should have the iron coming down. So here we go. We have this guy coming here. Why is it going in that track when... Oh, you know what? It has to do a loop before it actually goes into the line that it needs to go into. Oops. Forgot about that. Okay, well, here we go. Our first delivery of coal and iron, which the coal, again, won't matter because we don't have anything requiring it. Hopefully that reopens here soon, but we should see the stuff delivering in a second. Let me go and speed it up, and hopefully we can meet this thing. We have 18 days to go. Yeah, we'll be there in a second. It's already driving over there, and we should be good. There we go. Cool. So this place is good now. This place is not good, but it is getting stuff, so it should be good in a second regardless. But anyways, I think that's going to go ahead and be it for the end of today's episode. We're going to go ahead and trigger the glass research, which I think was one of these guys. Never mind, we need to drag the planks all the way over here, and I don't really want to do that right now. So we'll just do another steel research, which I think was this guy here, rails, for 2.1 million. It gives us the ability to make truss bridges. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's going to cost us 2.1 million, so we'll be in the hole for a little while. And then while that's going, we're actually going to go ahead and plop down another research thing here before we do anything, because we didn't actually start the concrete one. I thought I did, but I guess I looked at the pricing and I said no because I didn't start it apparently, but there we go. Next episode, we should have the concrete and the rails done. So hopefully next episode, we can go ahead and work on connecting more towns to go ahead and get stuff delivered to them, because we have like 5 towns now that are open that aren't actually getting anything delivered. We kind of just ignored them. So we need to go ahead and kind of get things going to them regardless. And hopefully in between episodes, we get those things done. But for right now, that's going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. So hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.